Just like I thought, the Nets play with a small ball team and win. Let's talk about it. New York City, we played basketball tonight. I can't say that we played good basketball tonight. Not necessarily. But we played a team that looks a lot like us. It's kind of like that Spider-Man meme. And, where did Kenny Atkinson get these ideas from? It's not far, it's not hard to guess that some of it came to man he sat across from today. Mike D'Antoni. The good old 7 seconds or less offense that looks completely different now in the hands of James Harden. James Harden is all the things that they were saying about Kyrie. All those horrible ball stopping. Kyrie plays no defense. You gotta be fucking kidding me. The dude is just incredible. He's better than I thought when I was evaluating him and whether or not D'Lo should stay or Kyrie should stay or Kyrie should come. I really thought the age difference was enough to make up the gap in talent. Kyrie is, of course, better than D'Lo, but I didn't know he was this much better than D'Lo. To help me kind of sift through all of this, I'm bringing on my boy, my man, 50 grand. Bam, bam, bigger nose. What's up, brother? Are you there?
Of course I'm here. It was a great win for the Nets.
I can't say that I feel confidence at coming off this win. I can't say that the what's happened before is against these 3 losses that we have, that it was just a mirage. Everything is cured. We're on the right track. What is it that you saw tonight, Bam, that makes you sound so pumped and happy and like everything is on the rise up?
Well, first off, I think you saw a better rotation. He didn't do the hockey rotation that we've been complaining about. That's number one. He staggered the lineups better. And they won a game against a good team where Irving did not play well. He had his worst game as a net, and that's good for the team, is that they had to go to other people like Levert. I thought played his best game of the year. So good win for the Nets. Yes, was it perfect? Of course not. Who cares? How could you care if it's perfect this early in the season? Good W for the Nets.
I want to be with you. I want to be where you are. I want to be.
I don't think you do.
Listen. I put $100 on it today. I said I looked at the team, and you know this. Ever since Atkinson came, the Nets do really well against Houston. I think we always play them into overtime. And
I have to give you credit because the other night when we spoke, you said, honestly, I feel that the best chance they have to win is against Houston. That's exactly what happened tonight.
No, I think that's obvious. Look, the Nets are. My complaint is the same all the time. I think Jarrett Allen is better than you guys think. I also think Jarrett Allen isn't about what he is now. I think you got to imagine what this kid is going to be at 24. And I know that's going to take some patience, but I'm fine with Jarrett Allen. I'm troubled by DeAndre Jordan. But the Nets aren't necessarily small with having those 2 guys. What the problem is, it's who's next to those guys. And then they don't have anyone that's physical.
The Nets, as constituted, the Nets currently do not have even an average power forward on their roster. They're playing guys at the 4 that are 3s. Yeah. They're playing guys that are 3s that are 2s. That's going to happen until next season. And eventually they'll make a move to correct that. But we have to understand that this is the same Nets team that they had last year. They're just a little bit more explosive. It's going to be frustrating, but you can't jump ship. My man, I love you. You've been jumping ship too quick. You want to fire the coach.
I will never jump ship.
Come on, dude. They're 2-3.
I will never jump ship. I will ride. Listen, I cheered Paul Pierce. Every time I ever cheered Paul Pierce, Bam, I threw up a little bit in my mouth. I remember when I was a kid, they used to force me to eat liver because supposedly that was healthy for you. And I would just sit there and just swallow that liver. And that's what it was like every time I watched Paul Pierce touch the court. If I rooted for him,
what's funny though, for a new fan of the Nets like yourself, that team that you hate so much, and I understand the disdain for that team. I didn't love that team either, but that was one of the best Nets teams they've ever had. So you have to almost keep like the idea that this was the best they've put on the floor. That Pierce team was the best they've ever had. 2 or 3 best teams they've ever had.
But that team made more sense. Okay, here's what was wrong with that team it was an expired team. You had rich, satisfied
they were
superstars.
Slow.
They were slow. They came into the season out of shape, and they even admitted we didn't come here to do heavy lifting. And
what was that team's record after 13 games? 3-10. This team is 2-3, and I think look, obviously they could have lost the Knicks game, but they could have just as easily won the Timberwolves and the Grizzly game. They're losing some games now. They're probably going to hold on to win. They're going to get smarter and better with the basketball. We have to all understand something. The defense is going to stink all year. That can't be changed because the personnel is what the personnel. But offensively, this team starts to take care of the basketball, stops turning it over. We're going to win a lot of like 120 to 118 games, just like we won tonight. And I think people just have to kind of take that into perspective, understand that it's not the finished product yet, and that's where we're headed. We're a team that's not finished yet.
Well, look at you, Mr. Reasonable. I'll see your reasonable take.
Like a typical white guy, I'm not above throwing out the racist comments, but it hasn't happened yet. I hate to say it for all my white brethren out there, but when our last resort comes, we will throw it out there.
Well, listen, I would love to be as reasonable as you are. I'd love to be as even keeled as you are right now. But I'm worried, Bam. I'm worried. We saw Garrett Temple have his best game as a Net, right? Was that real, or was that he was playing small forward and power forward before, and he's eventually going to go back there? Tonight he didn't have to play small forward, power forward. They played him at the shooting guard. They had him on the perimeter, and he looked a whole lot better. He looked a whole lot more natural at that position, and I think that might have had something to do with what happened, with why we saw a better result from Garrett Temple tonight.
Well, here's what I'll say. For the Nets fans out there that want them to play big, how? We don't have the personnel. To be honest, I don't understand. Am I the only one? Rodion Crooks is a bad basketball player. He stinks. I mean, he's a bad. We don't have a current power forward. We have 2 backup centers, and in reality, we probably have a backup center and a third string center. We are not there yet, talent wise, and that's okay because our best player is not here yet. So we have to almost understand that it's not happening this year, but we just want to win as many games as we can this year. And I think we're on the way to doing it this year. I feel great about tomorrow night. Detroit's on the road tonight. They're playing without Blake Griffin. We're a better team. If we're 3-3 tomorrow.
Who's their starting 5 tomorrow? Let me pull it up.
I couldn't even tell you. I mean, it's Drummond. Probably A bunch of scrubs. My brother's here, Steve. I'm going to put him on the phone eventually. I want his. Eventually, I'm going to give up the phone to him. I want him to get his. Give you his Twitter. He needs to get involved in this. He's a big time Net fan. He's a piece of shit. I hate my brother, but he needs to get involved in this. So eventually tonight, I'm going to hand the phone to my brother Steve.
All right, but I need you to answer the question. Like, did you like the bringing John and Musa on tonight?
Well, I like it. I liked it from the perspective that it shut up the fans that have been screaming for it because he did nothing in his minutes. What I liked overall was I felt that Kenny tonight was like, look, I can't keep doing these hockey subs. I thought they had a better stagger in the the moves that they made. So I thought it was a better stagger with the starters and the backups. You saw less backups playing together altogether. I thought he definitely made some changes tonight that were good. And look, this team's not perfect. They have a lot of weaknesses. This is a team that is probably a 45-win team at best, and that's okay.
That's not okay. Not to me. Not to me. Detroit tomorrow is a W. Their starting power forward right now is Markieff Morris.
Well, hey, Eves, let's look at this one. We talked about trades the other night. What do you give up for Blake? He makes a lot of sense here.
I think we're helping Detroit out if we took Blake. Blake is often injured. He has a massive contract. I think they'd love to get out from under that. I think we could get him for if we could match the money, but that's the problem. That's the reason why you can't get Blake, is because you'd have to match that money, and I don't know what it would be irresponsible. Like if Blake would give you 2 good years, then you could do it. But it would be irresponsible to give up a Karis LeVert or a Spencer Dinwiddie, which would be necessary just because of the money.
What if it was Torian, Dinwiddie, and picks? You have to do it.
Can't because there's.
Why?
I think there's something better out there. I don't think they could.
Fine, but
I don't think they could think vertically. I mean, I don't think they could think horizontally when they're making these trades, because you see,
let's be honest, he cures so many ills.
Oh, listen.
I mean,
if you could get him,
and if you're talking about championships, I talked to my father about this the other day. I was at my parents' house the other day. I saw my dad after they lost to the Pacers. Do you how many players on the Nets currently do you trust in a playoff, like a second round playoff series with the ball in their hands? Do you really trust Rudy? I don't.
No.
There's a lot of we have to upgrade that spot, and that's the next thing for the Nets. Is how do they fix that position?
But that's my point, though. The Nets can't think horizontally. They can't think only right now when they make these moves, because that's what killed Billy King. He gave himself no emergency hatch, and once you take on Blake Griffin, who's bad-bodied, if he plays, you're great. But the problem is he's shot.
He only has to play in the playoffs.
And
if he's healthy, it becomes one of those things. Eventually, the Nets are going to build a team.
Nah, if you give that much up,
they can win it all.
If you give that much up, you've got to go get Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon is the only guy that I've seen.
Your man Gordon is averaging 8 and 8 this year. He's suspect.
He's playing small forward, which he shouldn't be, and which is why I think he's gettable. I think they'd like to just have Taurean Prince, but if you gave them Taurean Prince and Dinwiddie, you're getting Aaron Gordon.
Well, what's great for the Nets is that a guy like Isaac is playing well, makes him more expendable.